to get my notes.
No notes.
All right, welcome everyone to the All About Nothing podcast, kind of daily show. I am Barrett Gruber, host of the All About Nothing podcast. You can follow me across all social media at Barrett Gruber. With me is Brock, who is a council member for Blythewood, the town of, as well as the coordinator and I guess the guy. You and Steve do everything for Soda City Comic Con coming up on August the 22nd and 23rd here in Columbia, South Carolina, at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. Welcome, Brock. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Okay, so we are not at the same energy level, sir. It's not.
Are you? Yeah. So we found a thing on the internet.
You found a thing.
Plays. Yeah. Well, of course I did, because I have no life, as evidenced by my title. And yes, ladies, I am single and available. So, if you are interested and live in the Greater Columbia area, or within an hour or two of driving, hit us up. Let us know. I'll take you out, and Barrett will pay for it. We found a random thing on the internet where it randomly plays Michael Jackson sounds just kind of throughout the broadcast, throughout ever how long the video is, and it is playing in the background, and you'll get a hee or a shamon or whatever it is he does.
Yeah.
Shamon.
It's a little intimidating to be doing a podcast with Michael Jackson. Even
you got to turn the volume all the way up, turn it as loud as we can, so that way you're not expecting all of a sudden boom.
That's right. Please subscribe and share the show. That's how we get new listeners. Also, please consider supporting the show financially by visiting theallaboutnothing.com, becoming an official member, and proudly calling yourself a true nothinger. We'll have more details on that at the end of the show. If you can't do that, give us a 5-star review, a like, and follow us across all of social media. You can find links at theallaboutnothing.com. All right. How was your weekend? Did you see Spider-Man yet?
I have not seen Spider-Man. I did one better. I watched SummerSlam, and I don't know how many of the viewers are WWE fans. I would imagine there's got to be at least a handful of them.
Sure.
And dare I say, PLE of the year, it was by far and away what I would consider the best premium live event that WWE has put on all year. Better than WrestleMania, better than the Royal Rumble. It was just incredible. It just hit on so many levels. Raw's
scared the shit out of me. Okay, go ahead.
See, that's the whole point. You just Monday Night Raw's on right now. I'm missing Monday Night Raw, but that's okay because I'm going to catch up. But it just hit like it was top to bottom. It was the PLE of the year. It was just fantastic. So that was my Saturday and Sunday night. Maybe another reason why I'm single and available is the fact that I'm watching wrestling all weekend. I don't know, but at least I had my son watched it with me on Saturday night, and my daughter did last night. So that was okay. Okay.
Well, Spider-Man opening weekend, $360 million domestically, surpassing Avengers Endgame for the highest domestic opening ever. Globally, the movie has generated $932 million. So it's safe to say Disney and Marvel have made their money back for what it cost to make it.
I think that's Sony. I don't think that's Disney.
Well, you're right. It is Sony movie, but I guess in partnership with so they have to split some of it with Universal and Disney. Because you've got.
Well, I think Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man because when Marvel went belly up, they sold off the rights to some of the characters. Yeah. And Sony was the one that Sony bought. They bought what was it? Spider-Man, and they bought the X-Men.
Yeah.
Fox bought the X-Men. Yeah. Sony bought Spider-Man and something else.
Well, Sony doesn't.
Fantastic Four. Sony doesn't. The only one they kept is Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think Spider-Man. They pretty much own Spider-Man and most. Spider-Man, and all of the villains that usually go with Spider-Man, but Universal owns the Hulk, so they have still not given up the rights to the Hulk. So to include Hulk in a Marvel movie on Sony means that Sony some of that money will go to Universal as well. So, but to me, it's good to see the partnership between the three studios to be able to experience that. I have not yet seen it. I do plan on seeing it this weekend. I have an appointment Friday for some tattoo work, and then I plan on trying to go see it. But yeah, no, I mean, it's huge. Odyssey made another 50 million or something this weekend. So that's, I mean, it's movies are back, right? Is that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's probably a safe bet. Um, Obsession, that horror film that came out, maybe a couple of months ago, did extremely well.
Yeah.
Horror films tend to do well. They tend to be low budget, and they tend to attract a large audience. So if you're ever a movie studio and you want to get some people in the butts in seats, make a decent horror film. You'll make money. It's very hard to lose money on good horror.
Did you see Scary Movie 6? I guess it's the latest Scary Movie yet.
I didn't see 1 through 5. Didn't see 1 through 5, so I didn't have a. There's scary Michael right there. Didn't see 1 through 5. No reason to see 6 or whatever it is. That's not my. I don't like horror films. Period.
Oh, okay.
So so that's not really not my thing. So.
Okay. To jump into a little bit of news, we are 1 week away from the special Republican primary election here in South Carolina. After, of course, Lindsey Graham's passing, President Trump apparently helped arrange for Darlene Graham to be appointed to finish the term. And then days later, Trump endorsed her to run for a full 6-year term in the August 11th special election, a move that has apparently caught a number of South Carolina Republicans off guard and shifted the mood from sympathy to frustration. There are a lot of Republicans in this state right now that are making social media comments, voters included, as well as some of the leaders here in South Carolina, that are absolutely pissed off that Donald Trump, one, arranged for basically pushing Governor McMaster's, who I figure at this point only takes instructions anyway. He's got, 5 months left in his term, and then he'll walk onto a golf course somewhere and never be seen again.
That was perfect timing. That was perfect. Yeah.
I am much. Yeah, that was a good. Yeah. But it's really interesting. So currently, super PACs for a primary race for the state Senate the Senate congressional Senate seat here in South Carolina have already made $900,000 in donations to the campaign and for Darlene Graham, and so far they have tracked the spending at nearly $1.5 million in commercials just leading up to the special election next Tuesday. But the likelihood is, and then we're going to have a special election runoff on the 25th, 2 weeks later. Let me see what else. Darlene Graham's profile. Yeah.
Too many candidates in the race not to have a runoff. It would defy all odds if one person were to get 50+1 to win it outright. But the question is, who are the two candidates going to be? I think I saw that. Was it Norman and Darlene were leading, or at least near the top? Russell Fry's up there too. So those are maybe your top three. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Trump's endorsement didn't clear the field whatsoever. Both Fry and Norman are both in the running, pretty high up, along with Governor Mark Sanford, and then businessman Mark Lynch, who, by the way, I want to just tell everybody. Mark Lynch will be my guest for next week's episode of the All About Nothing podcast. It was I don't dislike Mark Lynch. I he's a bit too religious for me, but I think all in all, he's not a bad person. He just sits much further to the right on a lot of issues than I do. It's not a like I said, he's not a bad guy. He and I differ on opinions, and we certainly express that in the episode. So it'll be a good listen. That'll come out I'm gonna actually release that early on Saturday, leading up to the special primary. So, Mark Lynch. You got Sanford. There's 9. There's not. What are you doing? Playing with a pencil? No, you're typing. What are you typing?
Trying to get some more information out there for the ladies.
Okay, that's fair. Oh, yeah.
There we go. Since I don't have an @Brockage.
That's fair.
Facebook.com/Brockage.
Brockage. I didn't know that was your. Okay. But yeah, so
my Facebook handle.
Bottom line is the race is expected to head to a runoff, given the size and strength of the field. I mean, and the strength is debatable. But with pundits speculating Trump could eventually endorse 2 candidates, and apparently that's already part of the conversation, is that Trump is expected to endorse 2 candidates as he did for the governor's race. Like, why even weigh in? I don't get it. I absolutely do not understand it. All he's got to do is just stay out. Doesn't have to say anything.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like going to the roulette wheel and betting on every number.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but hopefully in his case, it ends up 00 green and you lose. So.
Well, you know, I, in my opinion, selecting any of the 9 that are going to be on the ballot, we all lose. Is my opinion. I want to.
I don't know.
I didn't ask for your opinion. I did want to ask you though. Are you besides wrestling? Are you watching anything on TV right now?
Like TV shows or movies?
Like TV shows.
Every once in a while, I'll turn on and watch an episode of the Boondocks.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I really liked. Now, when you say TV, you're talking about like streaming, or you talking about like broadcast?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, everything that's broadcast goes out on streaming anyway. So.
Well, okay, so there's a show that I like on Fox called Best Medicine. Oh.
Best Medicine's fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. It's apparently a remake of not a remake, but it's a British show.
It is
something else, but
yeah. It's called Doc Martin. So
yes,
I watched all of the seasons of Doc Martin, which was absolutely one of my favorite shows when it was still airing. I've watched every season. I guess over there across the pond they call it series. But what's great, I don't know how far you are in Best Medicine.
I watched the whole first season.
Okay.
In the U.S. version.
I thought one of the coolest things was Doc Martin came in as his dad.
Yes, I didn't know that when I was watching it, but then I went back and read some synopsis, and that's the actor who played Doc Martin in the UK version.
Yeah. Very cool. It was very cool. Yeah. So I look forward to Doc Martin coming on season 2. And you're right, it is Fox that airs on, and I think that it comes back in January or February. So
in September. I don't know. Anyways, that's the only show that I actually watch. This on broadcast TV. I watch a couple of other things. Mobland I watched, which I thought was really good.
Yeah.
I've watched. I liked Avatar, the anime, one of the greatest animes ever. But the live action Avatar was good. I don't like the fact that I feel like the producer. That was a much longer little interruption there by Mikey than the other ones have been.
I completely forgot it's running over here. Like
that's the point. That's the point. Like you just don't know when he's gonna and show up.
Yeah.
But talking about Avatar, the Last Airbender, the live action, I think they realized their mistake between season 1 and season 2. They waited too long to shoot season 2, and Aang, who's the lead character, who's the Avatar, the Airbender,
aged.
He's too old.
Yeah.
Yep. And in anime, obviously, that doesn't matter. You can draw him however you want to draw him. But he's too old and he's too big, and it just doesn't really look right. Now, after you kind of get over that hump and get into the story, it's fine. But if you watch season 1 and then you watch season 2 right back, back to back, it's a world of difference. But it is really noticeable in Aang. Everybody else, it's not that noticeable, the aging. And from what I understand, they realized this, and they filmed seasons 2 and 3 back to back because they didn't want to run into the same problem. If they had been smart, obviously, which hindsight's 2020, they'd have filmed 1, 2, and 3 back to back to back.
Yeah.
And then you'd have had it. You don't have to release it all. But I guess they wanted to see if it was going to be a hit. But I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Nickelodeon version of Avatar.
Oh yeah.
But it's arguably, in my opinion, one of, if not one of the greatest animated stories that they've ever told. It's fantastic.
Well, and
then they spawned off Korra, which was
Yep.
good, but just not the same. It's just, and I mean, how could you say, well, we're going to make a live action version of Avatar, of Avatar, and not think that it's going to be a success? Of course, it's going to be a success. Everybody loved the animated version. The animated version, even Michael, he getting excited. So again, when you watch it, you'll look at between season 1 and season 2. You're like, yeah, he aged a lot more than they thought he was going to do. He got tall.
Well, I started watching as one of the summer relief shows, and because summer, most of the shows that we probably enjoy the most are usually off at this time, just because the fall, winter into spring is usually when most television shows that have contracts for a specific number of episodes, that's when they come on. So one of the summer relief shows that started airing is one called Nation's Dumbest. And essentially what it is it's a game show with celebrities where they are competing to be removed from the show in order to not be deemed the nation's dumbest at the end. It's hosted by Jack Whitehall, who on Netflix did Travels with My Father. If you haven't seen those are fantastic. Like, Jack Whitehall is absolutely, he's not as great as Carr, but he is exceptionally funny. Also, Nation's Dumbest, our friend John Heater from last year's Soda City Comic Con, he's currently running, as I'm watching it right now, along with Ice-T, Carmen Electra, Steve-O from Jackass. All of these people are still in the running to be the nation's dumbest. Andrew Yang, Ellie King, and Dr. Drew have all graduated, so now they'll never be crowned the nation's dumbest. But it's a really entertaining show it's on Fox, but it's streaming on Hulu as well. Also, by the way, I didn't know if you know this, the word dumbest has a B in it. President Trump told us that. I don't know that we would have come to that on our own.
Does it actually have a B in it? It does.
D-U-M-B.
E-S-T, dumbest.
Yeah.
Dumbest. Yeah, I feel like I knew that. Why did he have to remind everybody?
Well, because he just found out.
Oh, well, that makes a lot more sense.
Nothing comes about from Donald Trump because it's something new. It's because he had never heard of the word affordability before until apparently the Democrats started using the word affordability, or made up the word. I think he thinks they made up that word, affordability. It's just the noun of affordable, the adverb affordable. This is just, English language, but he does have all the best words. I don't want people to forget that. The last thing I was going to bring up before we wrap up tonight, acting attorney general, it doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth, but it's there. Todd Blanche has apparently reached a deal with the GOP senators that were holdouts, Tom Tillis and John Cornyn, almost guaranteeing that Tuesday's Senate vote and confirmation are pretty much a done deal now. Yesterday, Sunday, Blanche formally fucking Michael formally rescinded the $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund, terminating any plans for compensation for allies of President Trump for all of the very, very stupid things that they have done and gotten caught for. I just want to make sure people understand, when you get a pardon, it isn't taking away from the fact that you were guilty of something. It is simply forgiving you for that guilt, forgiving you for those actions. You are still a piece of shit that did what you did and then got pardoned for it because Trump thought it'd be better to have you out on the streets as his army rather than behind jail.
Just keep in mind that also goes both ways.
Sure.
Both parties' presidents do it. And you know what? It's just kind of one of those things that as I've gotten older, I'm just kind of like, you know what?
What's
whatever.
one more? What's one more?
Yeah, at this point, yeah, whatever. Todd Blanche is the Attorney General. Whatever. I think that, at this point, presidents if the president gets to select his members of the cabinet, then give him the members of his cabinet. If they completely burn the system down, then you know what? Elections have consequences. We'll be okay with it.
Yeah.
If they for some reason they could find enough people that are dumb enough to agree to set aside $2 billion in American taxpayer funds to give to people who have been convicted of crimes, and they've weaponized the DOJ to treat them unfairly. And if they want to do that and they can get enough people in Congress to think that that's a good idea, okay, so be it. But you know what? Hell hath no fury like the American public scorned. And at some point there will be a snap. Well, they will. At some point there'll be a snap back. And it will be brutal and it will be quick. Kind of like when Wall Street decides to sell off AI names because they just think they're investing too much money in CapEx and there's not going to be any returns. The fall is brutal and it is very quick. Now, you get days like today, and I'm a Wall Street guy. I watch it every day, or at least Monday through Friday. And you get a day where, things kind of look a little rosy, and Trump's decided not to. The taco trade kicked in today. The market just screams higher. And you're like, oh, all is well and good in the world. Not necessarily, because, you can get your 1.5%, 2% up days, and you can get your down 2 to 3% days, and it just crushes everything that you just made up and then some.
Yeah.
So, if Todd Blanche is going to be the Attorney General, then I hope that he's the best Attorney General that they can find. Is he? Probably not. Is he what they're going to get? Sure. It's what you're going to get. Do I think that they should have struck some sort of deal to give Trump and his kids and their businesses immunity on tax returns looking backwards? No, they absolutely shouldn't. They're not above the law. Should they be able to go after them moving forward? Yes, absolutely. But they should be able to go after anybody. If you're blatantly cheating on your taxes and you get caught, then you suffer the consequences. We're a self-reporting system. If you choose to cheat and get caught, then you suffer the consequences. If you choose to cheat and you don't get caught, well, that's between you and your God.
Well, good news is Department of Justice also has clarified the limits on Trump's tax audit immunity, specifying that the audit protection is only granted in the original lawsuit settlement and applies strictly to retroactively to any past open claims rather than any future filings. So yet another loss for Trump. He and his family will still have to pay taxes, and they will be responsible.
They should.
Yeah,
that's not an issue. They should. I mean, that's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. How do you proactively allow for you, and like how do you work that in and think that there isn't some federal judge anywhere that's not going to look at it and go, wait a second, they want to get away. They've got it written in here to get away with anything they do in the future. That's not. That's not even how pardons work.
Yeah, I think some people would come back and equate that to saying, oh, well, Biden preemptively pardoned Dr. Fauci.
Sure.
Michael didn't like that. Should you be able to preemptively pardon somebody or offer some sort of I guess a pardon is different because it is looking back, and you're pardoning somebody for their past alleged transgressions. If you are pardoning for somebody or pardoning or giving immunity for somebody for potential crimes, whether it be criminal or civil, that you haven't even committed, that you might commit in the future, that's just ludicrous and absurd. I mean, it's almost borderline comical, because then you basically are giving a lifetime get out of jail free card to just do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Well, but that's
absurd.
But that's essentially why, Anthony Fauci last week pled the fifth on every question that was asked of him, was because the Republicans in that particular committee, and I think Homeland Security and something else, but that was, they gave up the game too early. Like, they went before the Sunday cameras and whatnot, and basically said, we're going to get him to perjure himself so that we can get him put in jail. Like, ultimately, that's what Rand Paul has this. And I wonder if it's because, like, Rand Paul is an eye doctor and Anthony Fauci is like a legitimate. I'm not saying eye doctors aren't important, and if you're an eye doctor out there and you'd like to advertise on the show, please feel free to reach out to me, info or the show at theallaboutnothing.com. But Anthony Fauci had 50 years of being like a diagnostician and internal medicine or whatever. I don't know exactly what it is, so people, you don't need to correct me, but just understand, like, Anthony Fauci played a huge role between like AIDS and HIV prevention in the late 80s and 90s to being the head of the NHIC, or the National Health Organization, or whatever, for the United States. Like, there are so many things that he has been attached to, and I don't know what his responsibility to it was, but like their whole thing is that they got a hold of his diary, and they claim that he lied to the American public about, you know, where the Wuhan virus came from, and whether it was part of some program trying to test the capabilities to see if it could pass to humans from animals or bats or whatever. And it's like, I'm going to be completely honest. I would prefer that we have scientists that are working on things like that so that they can come up with ways to prevent it, or ways to come up with new vaccines to prevent if that happens. So, you know, 10 years from now, we could have some virus that may potentially jump from pigs or birds or bats or whatever to us. And I would prefer to know,
Dogs.
yeah, that we have scientists that are already working on that, because they tested to see what it would take for it to make that leap, and already have vaccines in place to prevent. And then the other thing about these mask mandates and things like that. Look, the 6-foot distancing, yeah, I think that it may have been slightly overdone, and the mask mandates were probably overdone, but it was nobody understood or knew anything about what exactly was going on. And the fact that you can retroactively go back in time and say, this guy was just trying to make life for Americans and people around the world uncomfortable by suggesting that there be these mask mandates and suggesting that people socially distance. I'm going to tell you right now, I want everyone to social distance from me. Almost 999% of the time. Just avoid me. That's the truth. Wear masks too, please. If you see me coming, put on a mask. That's all I ask for.
Take this and go away.
I did not know you had an Ewok.
Yeah, I do. She's super cute too.
Last thing I want to ask you: how's everything coming up for Soda City Comic Con? We're leading up to it. It's going to be here soon.
Things are going pretty well. You know, we've got our guest lineup. We've got our panel schedule. We've got one open panel slot at 12:30. I think we're gonna try something a little different this year. I think we're gonna try some sort of like a karaoke something, you know, some sort of little dance party or something, you know, just to get people in there. We're also going to probably put out like a questionnaire, like, you know, what do people want to see? What would they want to do? What would they like to fill that in? So we'll have a People's Choice or People's Panel Award or whatever.
I was going to say, my suggestion is open mic night. God.
See, this was a good idea, wasn't it?
I don't know if I'm ever not going to do it again. I think it's a staple now.
No. I think what you have to do is when you bring guests on, you don't tell them, and you have it running in the background, and they're like, "The hell was that?" Ghosts.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be kind of cool to have people sign up to do like a 5-minute comedy set, and just,
I think that'd be great
if they bomb or whatever.
Well, the only problem is that I want to be in there to listen to them, because
that's funny, true.
I want to. Yeah, so we'll figure something out. I mean, we may stream. Who knows? We'll pirate a movie and put it on there, or we'll figure something out. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, like we got like 2 days, two packed days of panels. We got the vintage video games. We got the biggest pop-up pinball arcade in the state. We're gonna have about 50 machines. Brand new machines from Stern and Jersey Jack, and there's another one that wants to participate. So our pinball presence and the interest of pinball manufacturers is growing in this event. So it could potentially spawn some other events. We've got a Warhammer 40K 2-day tournament going on.
Wow.
So that's going to be kind of cool. So people can show up and kind of watch and learn a little bit about that. Should have about 32 players for that. About 40 or so people playing in a couple pinball tournaments. So I mean, there'll be a lot of stuff going on.
Is our friend with the soda machine coming?
Oh, Peter? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Peter's gonna be there.
Oh, yeah.
And his
sister. He is what I consider my most handsome friend. But I'll tell you what. And this is news, and I don't think I'm not gonna rub the shine off his turd. But Peter got engaged, and
Did
he's
he?
going to be getting married. Yep, a really nice girl.
Hey.
He got engaged in Switzerland, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, he was in Europe. I know it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Switzerland.
He is he still a firefighter? Or he's a retired firefighter.
I don't think he ever was a firefighter. I don't think that he was ever a firefighter. I think. Yeah, that was a good one. I think that there was somebody in his family, or whatever, that was was involved in that.
Okay.
So
but
he's an engineer by education.
Oh, okay. All right. It's very cool. I'm looking forward to the time spent down there at the con, and look forward to seeing everybody show up and dressing up. My girls are going to dress up for it, so and then we have friends coming in town that are going that are going to dress up for it. Awesome. My brother and his partner are coming in town for it, so it's going to be a really good time. Make sure to get your tickets now. SodaCityComicCon.com, and then join us, because regardless of how hot it is or cold it is outside, it's still going to be a really good time inside. So do that. SodaCityComicCon.com for tickets at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center, August 22nd and 23rd. I'm almost anticipating a Michael sounder.
You're waiting for it.
I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to let it go. All right. We'll wrap it up for a Monday evening. Brock, thank you for being here. It's going to wrap it up for this episode. Big thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Don't forget, you can follow Soda City Comic Con by visiting SodaCityComicCon.com. You can find links to the social media there on the webpage as well. You can follow me at Barrett Gruber across all social media. Thanks for liking and hitting that bell. If you can, give us a 5-star review, leave a comment. Until next time, you all stay safe, be kind, and wait a second. I was going to give Michael a chance to.
No,
we can't. It's not going to work.
We're not that lucky. No, we're not that lucky.